Hello, this is P and Daniel from DFI. Good morning. Today, I would like to talk about the DFI I.MX plan and some software development strategy. For today's agenda, the first I would like to talk about some popular ARM CPU source. And the second one, we will talk about today's topic, i.MX8 series product roadmap. And third one is the DFI, currently the i.MX, the product plan. And that's one that we will show you how about the DFI software support and the resource you can use it. So as we know, there are several ARM CPUs in the world. And on the industry field or what DFI familiar is, here you can see some CPU list. The first is a Qualcomm. The Qualcomm is quite popular on the mobile platform, and especially on the current cell phone. But on the Qualcomm's its business term and the MOQ quantities is not quite satisfied with some application. And the second one is the ROG chip. The ROG chip is the China fabric, and it has a very popular RK3399 CPU. And the ROG chip, the CPUs was quite popular on the TV box and the low-cost ports applications. But on today's, we would like to show you the NSP's CPU selections. Because i.MX series, product series already have launched for years and already shipped millions for its CPU unit to different kinds of application. It's the most popular application. It's like the automotive, and for the high-end segment and for the industry's application. Before we move on the ARM, or we call this the RISC CPU, this is something you need to know. On the ARM CPU segment, or we call it the inside of the core, there are three major product segments. The first one, we call that high performance. So the hardware designer, they can choose the Cortex A73 high-end core into the CPU. And in the mid-range, we call it the high-efficiency CPU. It's a Cortex A53. For others like the power saving or the battery application, they will choose the ultra-high efficiency, the CPU core option, like the Cortex A35. Before, now you know the basic ARM CPU core segment here. Then we'll move into the i.MX CPU, the product roadmap. In the first, you can see this is the old pictures for the i.MX CPU family. In there previously, very famous is the i.MX6 series, from the quad-core to the solo or the solo line entry levels. So since 2013, they announced the i.MX8 family. So you can see here, they have, this is the most high-end family. So it has the Cortex A72 core inside. In mid-range, we call it the i.MX8M family. So you use the mid-range Cortex A53 core. Then they will have the i.MX8X family with the A35 core inside. This is just a general product family, but inside of that, we'll have a lot of choice for customer for different kinds of applications. So let me share with some information, or I will call it when I started the i.MX8 the product series. I will start from here because they have too many choice for the PM or the planner. The first one, you need to know what your DMIP, or I will call it the CPU target. The DMIP here, that means the CPU performance range. And choose the right range is to suitable for your software application. And the second one you will see, if I were you, I will list the GFLOP, the numbers. The GFLOP number here means the graphic performance. So on different kind of segment, and they will choose the higher or the lower graphic power for the software. The third one you need to consider is the price. You can see from the i.MX8 to the lower range i.MX8M mini, you can see quite a long range of the price segment. So in the most high-end i.MX8, it target on the automotive application. That means on this kind of CPU, you can run multi-OS, multi-applications, even on the virtualization. And in the middle, you will see the i.MX8X. The 8X is targeted on the standard or general industry application, or sometimes we will call it for the entry level, the HMI, or industry control. And then you can see the i.MX8M. i.MX8M will have the quite large range of application. And in the AM or the 8M Plus, it target on the multimedia or HMI, but with the higher computing performance compared to i.MX8X. In the lower or the entry levels application, you can choose AM Mini and the Nano. The target application up here is focused on audio, voice, or some soundbar application. So you can see some voice control or the soundbars, the complete products. They will use the mini or the nano CPU inside. After you know all the different kind of the CPU performance, the basic performance, you also need to choose the right price segment based on the different kind of CPU detail spec. For example, in the i.MX8M, you will have the Core Max Plus or Dual. That means how many CPU core inside of the CPU. And extend on the 8X. You can choose even from the quad core, dual core, or dual X. And on the i.MX8M, Zen will have the core or the dual the CPU options. But on the entry level, the mini and the nanos, you have more options for the solo, single core, or the solo light version for some cost concerns application. Not only the CPU core on different kind of the CPU, you also have the commercial or industry grade CPU or some like the NPU or VPU inside or the campus support. So be careful for all the detailed selection. i.MX8 series is a quite very complicated for all the detail spec. So I don't want to talk about the detail spec right now, but here I show you the NXP link. It's a quite useful document. You can reference from this website and see the comparison table for its all series of products. And this page, I would like to show you that what I mentioned earlier, because this is the detailed spec for the i.MX8M series from the AM, Mini, Nano, and the new series that's called the AM Plus. So from this kind of comparison table, you can see that what I mentioned is the DMIS numbers, means the CPU number, CPU performance. and you can see some GPU code inside. So be careful about that. You need to choose the right GPU with like the OpenGL or like the OpenCL support, because these two software support is quite popular for the current AI or some specific software application. And the other one I want to mention is you can see the AM, because they target on the mid-range application. So you already support the HDMI 4K interface. Okay, compared to the entry-level AM Mini, it only have the basic resolution support. So others like you can the spec like the audio, you can see some audio interface required on the speech recognition or the soundbar. Okay. So on the high end, or we call the mid-range, the CPUs, you will have a more I/O interface like the USB 3 or more PCIe lanes for customer to extend their external device. Okay. The benefit from the NXP we like from the DFI point of view is the long-term support. The most of the Intel or the others, the x86 CPU platform, they already support up to 15 years the lifetime. On NXP, they will officially announce that each of the CPU will support up to 15 years as well. But basically, in our field, we know that when the customer or the field side still have a large demand for the CPU, they will keep maintain the product line until the demand is gone. So we believe like the previous model i.MX8 series will keep support in the coming futures. And if you want to know the update product supports the information, you can reference to this link. Okay. So let's talk about what the DFI i.MX products, what we have right now. We have from the Smart, from the SPC, Box PC, or panel PCs, we have FS 7100 series and the 2.5-inch SPC right now to support 5 volt over the industry grade wide volt range products. And for the Box PC or the panel PCs, we all have the reference of products over here. In our trend models, we will focus more about the i.MX8 and 8 minis. Loads of the trends are already in our product planning. So you can foresee that i.MX8 AM, the products will come in from the DFI's product roadmap. So I would like to talk about a little bit about successful applications, because this is a basic, or we call it a very basic application for the i.MX platform on the factories. We call it a data logger application. It's a 5.6-inch panel PCs with a Linux Yocto OS inside, and through the COM port and over the LAN interface connect to the external PLC. After this kind of small device get the local data, they can send back to the host servers for the big data control. Not only that, this kind of platform can also support for the Wi-Fi or the 4G application for the data transfers. On DFI, we also have lots of successful story on the field. For example, this is a robotic teaching panels, and the customer will design their baseboard and with the Q7 modules for with the i.MX8 series of product. Okay, this is a quite typical data collection, small box PC looks like with the i.MX8. Okay, this page is the home energy charging station to monitor with some informations with the IP65, the front panel protection. So with a quite fancy ID. This is another use case on the bus drivers information system with the 10.1 panel PC with the i.MX8. So on this page, I show you the current AM series. You can choose our 2.5-inch SBC. What I'm showing this model to you is because you can base on this model to develop your software to review your application. And through this kind of the small SBC board, we already extend all the CPU default features out of that. For example, we have the basic, the USB port, the LAN port, the COM port, HDMI, and we have default eMMC inside. CAN bus is also support as well. SD slot or LVDS or others like the I2Cs or the debug port and the M.2 E-keys for the Wi-Fi extension. So this model is quite popular right now because the DFI customer, if they use the i.MX6 previous model, they will use this kind of SBC to check their software if they can migrate to the new versions of software support. Okay, let me talk about the software support icons. For example, on the i.MX8 DFI standard product, we will support the Yocto 2.5 version and Android 9 version. And on the default eMMC, we will install the Yocto's OS inside. So you can see the DFI software will support from the bootloaders, the bootloader layer, and for the kernel layer, the driver will be ready for our customer. The user space layers, they will have installed the root file system, and the customer, they will need to handle their application there. So from the red color ones is the DFI software support scope. On every DFI standard product, we will have the software spec in our manual on the appendix page. From this example, you can see we will show you what Yocto's version, Linux kernel version, and what kind of the verified device we test. It's a model name like the panel, the model, or the Wi-Fi test model. Others like the detailed software spec, we also will showing you this software spec. And giving you the final, the file space, the storage size, how much you can use for your application. This is the example for our previous i.MX6 SBC. On the default eMMC8 gigabit, after install our Linux Yoctos, you still have the 5 gig for your application. On the DFI, the i.MX standard product will provide you the BSP. You can also use the NXP, BSP download link to have your previous study. Okay, so here is the link I copied from the NXP. Okay, this is the last page from my webinar today. So the first one I want you to know is the NXP i.MX8. It's a spec or it's a CPU family. It's quite rich. So do some previous study or survey. It's a master item for you. And the second one is make sure that you have your software engineering resource can support this kind of ARM-based or the risk-based software. Because on the risk world, in our standard product development stage, the hardware resource will take around, I guess, is the 30 to 40%, but others like the 60% will focus on the software engineering. And the third one is we see that the i.MX, the platform, is getting more and more powerful because its core inside support very powerful CPU and the graphic power. Already can compare to the Intel, I guess it's an A10 platform. So in the i.MX, the CPU are getting more and more popular on the AIoT world. So on the last one, why you can choose the DFI, because we are ready our hardware and the software resource. We can provide you the ready hardware platform and the image already verified by our software team. If you want to develop your own OS image, we can provide you the BSP for reference. Others like the advanced features, you can contact the sales representative for the MRE protections. We can support the more advanced features for you. I hope you liked today's webinar. So we want to hear your comment or the feedback to the DFI. Please give us your feedback through the scan this QR code and complete the surveys. Then you will have the chance to win the iTunes Apple Card. So this is the last page on my presentation. You can also leave your questions on the chat room. We will get back to you. Thank you.